It's a very rainy, gray June day here in Toronto, Canada. But I think the weather is appropriate for the story I'm about to tell you. It's not going to have a happy ending, but it's something as seniors as we age, we have to be aware of. Recently, there was an excellent piece of journalism that I found in our local newspaper, the Toronto Star. It was written by Kevin Donovan, who is the lead investigative reporter for the newspaper. And what it was about a 75-year-old woman who would go on to lose everything. I have nicknamed her the loneliest woman in retirement. And it happened so innocently. This is just about a 75-year-old woman who wanted to do renovations to her home. The reason being is that she was starting to have mobility issues and other health issues. So the woman who lived on her own with no family whatsoever decided she wanted to do 4 things to her house. Number 1, she wanted to expand her front door. Number 2, she wanted to expand her garage. Number 3, she wanted to create a more open concept inside the home. And number 4, at the back of the home, she wanted to add a solarium. Well, let me introduce you to villain number 1, the contractor. And how did she find this particular contractor? Well, we all get these flyers delivered to our house every day through the mail. Well, she happened to stumble upon one and she saw the contractor in this particular ad, and she just hired him on the spot without checking any references whatsoever. And let's just say this did not go well. Most of the work that was done was quite shoddy. It wasn't really up to par. It left her home a complete mess. And here's the icing on the cake. The contractor charged her 3 times what she should have normally have paid for this work done. So normally this would have been a $300,000 renovation to her home. The contractor charged her, believe it or not, $900,000 that she was expected to pay. Now let's meet villain number 2. And guess what? The contractor was the one who introduced her to villain number 2, the mortgage lender. And let's just say the loneliest woman in retirement was a very trusting person. And once again, she had no one to turn to for advice, and she didn't check references. And let's just say that villain number 2 was a sweet-talking guy. And our naive lady just signed on the dotted line. Unfortunately, the terms and conditions of her 5 mortgages were excruciating. In the end, the lender charged her $500,000 in interest payments and lending fees over 5 mortgages. 2 of those mortgages had a 10% interest rate. 3 of those mortgages had a 22% interest rate. This guy made Scrooge look good. Bottom line, she's about to lose her home. Her equity is gone. She is going to be destitute. The loneliest woman in retirement is symbolic of retirees around the world who live alone. These are people without a support system. And unfortunately, they are easily and legally taken advantage by the worst elements of society. The woman in this story was a nurse, and she saved thousands of lives. My question is, who is going to save her? I'm Ernie from Retirement SOS.